gorilla stomping in a zoo. Check the vocals, animals gather right.
Hey everybody, and welcome back for another video. In today's video we're going to resume construction on the rabbit enclosure. Last video was very productive. We got a semi-enclosed structure made, and as a added benefit of having that structure made, I'm out here on a semi-breezy day, and we're using the shelter now as a bit of wind cover, so hopefully you're able to hear me without any wind noise jumping in and overpowering everything. Anyway, so to start off today, I need to get some more bracing up, especially up here on the ceiling, the roof, and I also need to get some bracing along the sides, because the panels of hardware cloth that I'm using, they are 3 feet wide by 5 feet long, and these walls are almost 6 feet high that I'm filling the gaps on. So as a result, I'm going to need some kind of cross brace in between to match up those three 3-foot sections and give them something to nail onto in the middle, right? So I went to Home Depot, I picked up some more wood, and I went to Kent and picked up some more 2x4 brackets. Anyways, I should have pretty much everything I need for what we're going to do today. And I got some lofty goals, I'll be honest. I think they may be doable. In particular, other than the crow flying over, in particular, I need to get a door made, frame up the roof, get the plywood on the roof, and I gotta chop off the top of those posts finally. I know in last video I think I said like 2 or 3 times that I was gonna have a go at it. I never did. I just never got around to it, so unfortunately those are still there to be done, and we're still in the same predicament of figuring out what method I'm going to use to chop those off. Alright, so posts need to be chopped off, bracing needs to be installed, plywood ceiling needs to go in, and hopefully make the door. That's a tall list for today. I think we could probably do it. We'll see how everything goes. I think the bracing will go smoothly, and then plywood. And it's just a matter of getting these post tops off. That might be something we tackle first, just to have it done. Could be a good idea. Alright, so that's the plan for today. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video and continue along with the progress. I've definitely been enjoying more so the outcome than the process at times, but I think we'll have this ready in time for the bunnies, and in time is about 2 days from now. Alright, so with all that said, I'm going to get in and get to work, and I think I'll start with the post tops, and I'll really do it this time. I'll really do the post tops first. Alright, let's get to it and figure out how I'm going to do this. Alright, let's go. Alright, so I've decided what method I'm going to start with first for these post tops. And of course, when the name of your YouTube channel is Being Mansome, you kind of got to go with the most manly option first, right? So it's going to be chainsaw. It's going to be chainsaw. But I do want to be a little careful with it and have a guideline at the very least to try and trace. So I got my square, pencil, and I'm going to just draw some tracing around the top of the post in line with the 2x4s, and hopefully that way I'll have a bit of a guideline to use with the chainsaw. Because one thing I don't want to do is hit those metal brackets with the chainsaw and just blunt my chain right away, right? So, and I also got a step stool there just to bring me up, try and keep the chainsaw at chest height. That way I'll just have to rotate my torso to do a clean cut instead of trying to balance it around. So that's all my ideas. Hopefully it pans out. You know, hopefully I've thought it through enough. It's probably something simple. For those of you watching, you've probably done this yourselves before. It's probably no big a deal. But it's first time for me where it kind of matters, you know, where you're putting your chainsaw to. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, there really wasn't much marking to that anyways. There's only this little corner. And I'm going to be viewing it from in here, so yeah, let's get the chainsaw ready. That'll work. It's a little bit of a rough cut, but it'll do. Let's keep going. Well, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So that's done. Now we move on to some more framing. Get that roof all framed up and ready to put some plywood on there. And we're golden. So yeah, so far so good. We're probably only, probably only 10 minutes into this yet. And we already got some good progress. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed that bit of chainsaw action. I always enjoy a bit of chainsaw action. So anyways, that was a bit of fun. So let's get on to the more technical stuff now. Alright, so when it comes to the bracing, as I said before, this is 10 feet in length, and at the 5-foot mark, right in the middle, is where I have the posts and a 2x4 support. But if I got, you know, the weight of snow and the roof itself, everything on this is a pretty wide 5-foot gap to be putting all that weight on, right? So at the very least, I need another support in the middle, and I think that'll be good at 2.5 feet. So it'd be 30 inches on center, say. We could probably do with 2, would be even better. But I never really bought enough for 2, I don't think. I might have all the same. So yeah, maybe I'll do maybe I'll do 2 here and 2 down there. But anyways, one of the most important ones is at the 8-foot mark down there, because I want my plywood exactly 8 feet from the front, ending up right in the middle of the 2x4 at that 8-foot mark, because it's going to be 2 pieces of plywood butting up against each other there. So I want as much gluing and screwing surface as possible to get a strong join at that last 2 feet. So that's the idea. I think I may end up putting 2 supports here, you know, just to have everything nice and secure in case I did get a lot of snow on the roof. Because as of right now, the roof's going to be flat. I don't have any kind of pitch put into this at all. So, anyways, hopefully you guys aren't getting filled up with a bit of wind noise there now. I got you out in the open, so just so I could illustrate what's going through my mind. But I think for completionist's sake, I think I will go with 2 supports in each part, just to have a nice strong roof, because it is spanning 8 feet without a support. So. Alright, I'm going to measure, cut, and install. You guys know the drill. It won't be long, and let's get it done. So the first thing I'm going to do here now is get my measurement across here, which is 54 3/4, and then I want to divide that by 3, right? So that's going to be 18, I believe. Right, 3 times 10 is 30, plus 24 is 54. 3/4, you can even go 18 1/4 for distance if we want. And that'll give us 3 equal 18 1/4. So then you go between them, right? Yeah, that will do it. So let's do our 18 1/4 now. What was it? 18 1/4 and 18 1/4 is 37? 36 and a half. 36 and a half, not 37. There we go. Now we should be golden on measurements there now. So I'll get my square. Mark that good. Okay, and I'm going to do the same markings over on the other side here. 18 1/4, 36 and a half. Alrighty, so with that much done, we're ready to start putting some brackets up. And I want the 2x4s to butt up exactly, you know, top and bottom with this where possible. So with my bracket, I'm going to have to place that just a little smidge below. It's like a 1/16 thickness of metal there. So we put it a 1/16 below the lip. It'll sit on top of that and be in line. You guys are probably going to regret me having this little wind shelter here now. You get to hear me talking so much. Whatever, it's all good. It's all good. What's nice too with the pencil marks, I can see them through the holes that I'm using in these brackets. So I know how it's straight. Easy peasy. Let's do another one. So far so good. Let's go to the other side. One thing I just realized is the screws that I'm using are 2.5 inches. I need my 1.5 inch ones for doing these because they're coming out on the other side of it. So yeah, oopsie me. I'll replace those. We'll be right back. Alright, so I got those other ones fixed now, so we'll keep moving forward. So now that I got the first section done, I'm going to move into the second section, which is going to be a bit different. We're not just going to split it 3 ways. I really need that 2x4 at exactly 8 feet. Alright, because that's where my sheets are going to end and my last little bit is going to begin. So I really want them to be really splitting that bar down the middle, you know. So I'm going to measure 8 feet right from the front. And then I will, once I got my 8-foot mark, then I'll try to find something appropriate for a second support. Alright. I think there's going to have to be a bit of pruning done with this tree. It's all up in my face. And at least I know my measurements are right, because I ended up right in the middle of this 8-foot part without even trying it. I honestly didn't even notice it there until I started drawing my line. Alright, let's get some brackets up. Alright, at this point in time, it's time to cut up some beams, put them across, and we should be able to get the measurements of that easy enough. I'm just going to remeasure the middle one I did, because I forget if that was 63 inches or 69. I forget, but I'll duplicate that, and we'll do 4 cuts, and we'll get those screwed in, and that'll be done. We'll be ready to plywood the ceiling. Alright, that's pretty simple, isn't it? Alright, let's do it. Oh yeah, by the way, once I measured it was 89 inches, not 69. That would have been terrible. Alright. I do have a confession to make. And you know how I first was thinking the boards were 69 inches long, and then I measured and came up with 89 inches long? Well, it turns out that that 89 inches was with the middle post, and the middle post protrudes inwards a bit further than what the outer level is that I was trying to attach to. Anyways, the correct measurement was 92.5. So I went and I sawed 4 boards at 89 inches. And to my surprise, they were too short when I went to put them up into the hangers. Now, with that said, all is not lost. They're long enough so that I can use them for cross bracing on the front and back, and as well I can probably use them in the construction of the door, and we'll use them up that way. So at least I never cut them too short that they were ruined or anything like that. But definitely a wake-up call. Measure, and really measure. Don't assume based on another measurement. Get the tape out, get your measurement, confirm what you're thinking, or you could do what I did and just potentially ruin 4 boards. They're not ruined, I'll get to use them. But I had specifically picked those 4 boards out because they were the ones with the most twists and curves, so I was trying to get them used up on the ceiling, but that backfired pretty quick. So anyways, I'm just going to go through these now, and the ones behind you, and pop some screws into those hangers, and we'll move forward from there. We should be ready for plywood then, and we'll get that all buttoned down and glued down. Hopefully not getting too much of a mess with the glue, and I'll probably be up there climbing around now shortly, but I'll get these screws in, and that's where we'll go. So come along, let's keep on cranking this out. Alright, so this worked out really nice actually. I am enjoying very much the added structure. Alright, like there's no trouble holding my weight, and that's only on 2 boards. So you space that now over the rest of them there, and you can be pretty fancy. So I think strength is not an issue anymore. We got lots of support there. But where I'm going to begin, speaking of support, is I'm going to start with the 2-foot section that I cut off this corner piece here. And that way I can get the 2-foot piece up here, center it on this board the way I want it, and then the rest can just butt up against that, and I know at that point in time that I got enough room left for everything else. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll go outside, I'll get the 2-foot piece there now. I think this is a pretty good angle for you guys to catch what I'm doing. And I'm going to put the stand over here. I'm going to put some glue on this, and then I'll get the 2-foot piece, put it up there. I'm going to try and get the factory edge to be the one that's on this brace right here. Because if I was either a bit wonky with my skill saw when I halved that plywood sheet, at least the factory edge will be halfway on this, nice and straight, and it'll be factory edge against factory edge when I put the other 2 sheets up in this section. So hopefully you're picking up what I'm laying down. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab some glue. We'll get this piece up here, and we should be good to go. Yeah, should be good. All right, let's do that now. Alright, so with that first 2-foot piece now installed, took a little bit extra than I thought it was going to, but I just wanted it more accurate and precise. So I spent more time lining it up and making sure to screw it in where I wanted it to be. So anyways, we're on to the rest of the roof now, which is exactly, or should be, 2 sheets of plywood. So I'm going to put the 2 sheets up at the same time, and I got to make sure, I don't have to make sure, but I got to, what I want is to chalk line these braces, right? But I can measure them below and transfer that up onto markings up top. Because once I got the 2 sheets of plywood up top, I'm not going to see any of this unless I'm down below, right? Or unless I hang off the edge and peek underneath, you know? Because on the sides, there's no screws going in where I use those hangers. There's no evidence of, say, 2 screws going into the board, and then you could just trace that line with a chalk line. So, anyways, I'm going to get that plywood put up top, and I'll figure out where the screws go, and we'll get it installed. But we need a lot of glue, and I think I guess I'll probably trace it out with glue before I put the sheets up. It could be messy if the sheets wobble around and all that, but I don't really want to be lifting sheets up to put the glue down and then lay the sheet back down on top of it, you know? So I think I'll glue it first, put the sheets up, and they should get enough of a seal with whatever glue is left there. That's what I'm hoping. Now, I could put 1 sheet up at a time, glue it, then put it over. Anyways, I'll figure it out. You'll see me probably in fast motion here now as I kick you guys into a bit of music, I would think. Because this is probably going to take a little while, and it's just going to be putting wood up and screwing it down. And you've heard enough of me jibber jabbing today. You might get sick of me talking now with the wind blocked here. Anyways, on we go. Alright, so that's the roof on, the plywood anyway. It still needs some tar paper or felt paper, whatever you want to call it. But we got a roof. Okay, so I'm not a fan of heights, so you know that wasn't the most pleasant experience for me. You know, it's not terribly frightening all the same, but I just don't enjoy heights. So you know, being up 6 feet or 8 feet, it can be a little bit shaky at times. But I trusted the work that I did, and it held up nicely, of course. And we got a beautiful little roof there now. Alright, so with all that said, we got a little more bracing to do. Remember I said halfway up on the sidewalls for the mesh. So I'm going to measure those out there now and get those put in. And I'll use some of that wood that I almost spoiled earlier. So I'll get that measured, do some cuts. We'll get that done. And we'll pretty much almost be done for the day. We may tackle the door. We may try to make a door. We'll see. But yeah, let's get that bracing up. Alrighty, and just like that, the bracing is done, and it's ready for mesh on the sides anyways. So that's all clued up. Now, I would like to finish out the day and be done, but time is still crunched, alright? Still under a time crunch here. I want to try and get a door made. So I've gone ahead, I've done my measurements, and I got a lovely little rough drawing done of the door. There will be some more cross bracing and stuff like that within it, but I got the basic layout of it, and it shouldn't be too bad. 68 3/4 high by 42 3/4 wide, and the width is going to be subtract off 7 inches for the 2 side beams, and that gives me 35 3/4, and then the 68 3/4. So between those measurements and the bit of wood that I got there, we should be safe enough to get this done. Oh, and I do still have my boards out back there that I messed up on a little bit, so I'll get to use those. Alright, so that should hopefully get us the outer box of the door, and I'm going to try and use my Craig jig to do the joins on that as well as glue. So whether or not we finish it today is yet to be seen. Just in case there's more rain coming, I am prepared to cut and run. So if that happens, that's what we'll do. But otherwise, let's get at the door. I'm going to cut off these measurements and just get into assembly. There's really not much more to say, so I'll probably kick you over into a time lapse, and you'll see how I do with the door. Let's see how it goes. Alright, it's time to get some hinges on this baby. So I just got 3 random hinges, and I'm just going to be, I got a little bit of blocking or wedge underneath the door there just to keep it off the jamb, but not a lot, right? 1/4 inch or less. And basically I'm going to straighten up the door, throw on some hinges, and cross our fingers and hope that it opens properly. Gotta get some screws here now. Alright, time to test it out. Let's see. There we are. All the way open. Solid. There we are. Success. Alright, so we got a door. And obviously if the wind blows tonight it would be free swinging unless I screw it shut. But I did pick up hardware today for the door, and if the door is up it might as well have hardware on it, right? So I'll go get that and I'll be back. Alright, so just to show you what I got kind of a regular backyard gate latch, and then I got a slide and lock. I actually got 2 of those, just where the door is a little bit bigger and I want it a bit more secure. and then a pull handle. Alright, so nothing too fancy about all that. I'm going to go and just install that off camera, and then I'll be back with you guys to finish off this video. Alright, back in a minute. Alright boys and girls, that's going to clue up today's video. Hardware is on the door and working well. I got to put a little bit of a door stop on the back. I got a few 2x4s left over that would be good for that purpose. I may even have some 1x6 that I might use, but I think the 2x4 is a little bit more robust and will be okay to throw there as well. So since I got 3 pieces left, I can use it for that purpose. Alright, so the hardware went on okay. The included screws were garbage. I ended up having to use deck screws to put them on properly. Whatever metal they use is just so soft and flaky, it just strips out. So I had to throw those in the garbage. But anyways, what a day of progress. What a day. It's pretty good indeed. And I am quite satisfied where we are. Tomorrow I'll be getting back at this, starting the mesh, and putting that door stop in behind the door that we made here this evening. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you haven't already, subscribe, like the video, ring the notification bell, all that stuff that helps the channel. And then you'll find out when new content is posted by me. So with all that said, we'll see you in the next video, which should maybe be tomorrow. We'll see. But until that happens, hope you're happy, hope you're healthy, take care of each other, and peace out.